doing push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Monday edition of the Ysn Power Hour, powered by our friends over at Toyota. Warren, DJ on this side, Richie on that side, and my friend at this time in about 4 days.
Yeah,
we're going to be much warmer.
Hopefully.
Woo!
It's been nothing but cold and dark here in Youngstown.
So you said, you're like, hey, man, you just brought it up out of the blue. Hey, it's been doing nothing but raining or snowing every time you've been here.
Every time. For the last week and a half, I just look out that window and see darkness.
And now we go to the desert and see what's going on in the desert.
See some sand, baby.
We're excited. In case you didn't know, we will be heading out to the this sounds weird. The NFL Pro Bowl as part of our partnership with Game Changer. We will be filming, producing some of the youth NFL stuff for flag football. So we're excited for that opportunity. That'll be on Saturday. And on Sunday, we're going to the base, the real HQ, Allegiant Stadium, where we will watch the Pro Bowl and probably bump elbows with some of the greatest athletes in all of the world. Who do you want to meet? If you have one guy that you want to meet out there that would probably make you starstruck, who would it be?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not like huge on NFL athletes.
Yeah, you'd be much more better served at the MLB All-Star Game or the Home Run Derby.
MLB, I could name you 10. I don't really know. Maybe I'd like to meet Joe Burrow.
Joe Burr.
I feel like that'd be sweet.
You think he'll
he's
be
an Ohio
there?
guy. We could, because not only could we meet him, but we could also talk to him because we're from Ohio. I'm an Ohio State fan. So
He went to LSU.
He went to LSU and Ohio State.
Uh-uh.
So, which is crazy. They wasn't good enough to play at Ohio State.
On pace to be one of the best quarterbacks possibly ever.
Well, when you look down the list of some of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, most of the time they come from the worst colleges in the country.
Yep.
Like not even Power 5 schools.
Michigan.
Wow, they stink. So
Pretty good quarterback came from Michigan.
they stink.
He's pretty okay.
Exactly.
Thomas Aurelius Brady.
And
He's got like three
He goes
names.
to Michigan, so I mean that's about the same as the schools I was talking about.
Dang, dude. Dang. We got a lot to talk about today. The brackets came out.
Yep.
We're going to go over that a little bit. Richie's been diving into that. We're also going to talk about how much influence an official really does have during a game. All I saw last night was crybabies about the officiating that happened during the Chiefs game. We're going to talk about how much of the officiating went into that one play or two plays even that people are crying about. We'll talk about that. And there's a lot of other stuff. We'll break down kind of the Super Bowl. We got 2 weeks to talk about the Super Bowl. We don't want to blow it out on day one. We'll talk about that a little bit. The excitement of the big game and why it's so exciting here is it completely transcends America. Like people stop what they're doing because the big game is on that Sunday. We'll talk about that. But first we get to the birthdays. This is going to be good because I have no idea who's waiting on the other side of this birthday candle. Here we go. Let's blow them out. All right, January 30th, birthdays. It starts, I'll tell you what, Christian Bale. That's a pretty good jump. Batman. One of my favorites, Ooh La La, Becky Lynch, turns 35 today. She's only 2 years younger than me, really 3. But she's married to Seth Rollins, so as my wife says, you have no chance. Who else we have here? Kid Cudi. You know Kid Cudi?
Yeah.
Day and night. Let's see. Kid Cudi turns 38. So Kid Cudi's just a few days older than I am. I like that. Who else do we have here?
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Frank FDR was born on this day in 1882. Wilmer Valderrama. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
He played Fez on that 70s show. Andy Milonakis. This is probably way before your time. He had a TV show on MTV, and he was just a little jerk. He turns 46. Andy Milonakis still looks like he's probably 14.
Looks like he's 10.
Yep. Do yourself a favor and Google Andy Milonakis. He was just a little turd on MTV.
Oh my gosh.
I will say this. Guess who turns 71 today?
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, Andy Milonakis was not my
Does
favorite.
he have like a disease, like where he just doesn't age?
Yeah, he's a douchebag. Who else we have here? Some of these are just off. Dude's name's Video Game Donkey.
Never heard of him.
Congrats, dude.
See, a lot of our, celebrities now are like these 18-year-old chicks.
Because they're like
TikTok
models.
stars.
Some of these are not too flattering of photos, by the way. And I know.
Wait, go down.
Wait, which one?
Badass grandmom.
Where?
Right there. Second row.
Oh, I see. 77. Instagram star. Okay. That is
was a bad list.
That's a bad birthday day.
January 30th is not a good day.
I'm sorry if you were born on January 30th, but on the other side of that, if you were born on January 30th and you're a star, like there's not much holding you back from being
True.
The GOAT
You're the
on 130.
headliner.
Yeah. Did you watched a little bit of the game? Did you watch both games?
I watched the first one all the way through, and I watched a little bit of the second one.
Now you are not a gambling maniac at all. Like you
No.
never you're not on FanDuel or anything like that.
I am. Yeah.
You are?
I got $200 for free,
Oh, you're one of those guys.
but I'm not going to put any money in it. But I'll bet.
But you had to put some money in it to get it, right?
I think I just got $200 because some friend recommended me.
Okay. So did you put any money on the games?
I put the under on the Chiefs game, and I won.
Yep. That's a solid pick.
I always tell my mom because she has the free bets too, and I tell her like I do so much research before I put these bets down, and I'm only putting like $10.
Yeah.
But I do like a ton of research, like go down the list of all the games and defensive players, who's in, who's out.
See,
So I was like, I felt confident yesterday that the 48.5 was going to be an under.
But it got a little sketchy towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah.
Because it goes to overtime. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in big trouble.
Yeah, because they changed the rule now. Both teams get a possession.
So you bet the under. You didn't bet necessarily
the
the teams.
Yeah.
But if you were going to bet,
I was gonna bet the Bengals.
Would you bet the Niners?
I would have. No, I probably wouldn't have bet the Niners.
There's a lot of people around these parts, and I know that I only know people around this area. They bet with their heart way too much. Like they're like, I mean, the Youngstown area is known for the 49ers because of the DeBartolos, right? But people are like, oh, the Niners and the Bengals. And the only reason is because they're personally attached to them.
Yeah, no. See, I can't do that.
No, you're an analysis guy.
Yeah, I'm
like,
big on stats.
You would be great if you worked for the IRS. Like,
probably.
You would be one of the best agents they had coming after people for their taxes and tax evasion and stuff. So that's why I'm so grateful you're here doing good work instead of terrorizing people's funds.
I also don't bet on teams that I like. Like I won't.
So you wouldn't bet the Guardians or
wouldn't bet-
Browns?
I wouldn't bet the Browns. I wouldn't bet the Guardians. I wouldn't bet Ohio State. I wouldn't bet Youngstown State.
Really?
Yeah. Just because, like you said, I don't want to bet my heart because I'm never not going to pick Ohio State. Never not going to pick. I would never bet against YSU or Ohio State because it would completely ruin my experience of watching the game. You know what I mean?
Because you're already invested.
Yeah, like
For me, sports betting is more along the lines of games that you're not really invested to. It's kind of like fantasy football.
Yes, I invest myself in these games that I probably wouldn't watch, but now that I put $10 on it, I am into it. Like
like your $10 is like $1,000 for other people.
Baylor and Kansas, like I probably wouldn't watch that at 9:00 on ESPN, but since I was sitting there, I'm like, I might as well watch this. And now you put money on it and you're into it.
Oh yeah, you're gung ho.
So it helps me. Like I bet a lot of college basketball, and I've been doing pretty good.
We're gonna have to swap notes here because my buddy told me, hey, you need to start betting college basketball. I was on such a heater.
It's hard.
It's awful. I'm terrible at it.
It's very hard. That's why I take a lot of over-unders instead of teams.
Have you jumped into the parlay market yet?
I only bet like 3 teamers.
Okay.
And they're not even really teamers. They're usually over-unders, or if a team's getting like 14.5 points, I'll take it.
Interesting. Like I did really well yesterday. Obviously, I bet the Eagles and I bet the Chiefs. Won both of those. But I put a bunch of maybe $4, $5, $10 parlays together that would cash out 400, 800. Like there was a bunch of them.
Yeah, they never win.
I couldn't win one if I tried yesterday.
No, they never win.
It was I would get one here. Like if I put them all together and picked them out, I probably could have got a 6-leg parlay. But I bet Mahomes to score 2 touchdowns. I had Joe Burrow scoring 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
He didn't get it.
He didn't get that now.
Who else did I have? I had the running back Mixon going over 60 yards. He stunk.
Well, because him and
P. Ryan,
yeah, they split.
We were on the call whenever P. Ryan got the touchdown, and I thought it was Mixon. That would have got me in. So
Mixon had like 95 against the Bills.
Yeah, he killed him.
He destroyed.
I thought there was no way they're not going to do this, but they didn't run the ball effectively, at least. So,
see, sports gambling opens up your view and like watching the game in a different way.
Oh yeah,
because like you're rooting for certain players to do certain things. Like I usually don't do this, but I took a big risk yesterday. I took first play of the game between Cincinnati and Kansas City was going to be a completed pass. And it was like plus 310. And they completed the pass.
Wow.
It was just like a little swing route. And just to get Burrow ready to go. And they hit it. I'm like, yes.
I always go run on those.
Yeah.
So I always get burned.
The game with a run.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I'm glad I didn't do that because I was going to do it and I forget what I was doing. I missed the first couple plays of the game. And then I sat down. I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So
no, it's like I like betting and I hate it at the same time because like I've never been so stressful watching games.
Sarah tells me all the time. She's like, I can't do this. But I explained to her, okay, it gets exciting, because there's a little extra. I'm never gonna like mortgage the house.
No, I'm never gonna put over like $1,000 on a bet.
No. Like sometimes it's real tempting because you get kind of full of your own, and you're just like, oh,
there's no way this game isn't gonna like do what I think it's.
I'm gonna put the whole $400 or whatever on this, and then you realize it's probably not a good idea.
Me and my buddy sat down over the weekend and we put together. Like I said, I usually don't like doing parlays because the odds are just never in your favor.
Awful.
Put together a 5-team college basketball parlay. We took like Alabama, Arizona. There was a couple other schools that were like big favorites. Like, there's no way this doesn't win.
Yeah.
Alabama's number 2 in the country. They're playing Oklahoma, who's 11-9. Oklahoma beats them by 30 points.
Makes sense.
Our first game of the day. The rest of them won. I'm like,
that's the worst.
It is almost impossible to win these parlays.
It's the worst.
But that's why the odds are so high. Like, we put $15 down to win like $85. So there was no chance we were going to win. It's not almost like FanDuel knows what's going to happen.
They all do. I don't know how they do
crazy.
it. It's ridiculous. The people that make up the odds must get paid a zillion dollars.
They know every time. Like I won't even put money on some games. I'll just pay attention to it. Like look at the odds at the beginning of the game and what happens at the end. It's insane how they know how close this game's going to be. It would be like Norfolk State men's basketball. They'll be getting 5.5 and they'll lose by 6 points or they'll lose by 7. It's like, how do these people even know that it's going to be that close?
And then people will say it's rigged.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this. This is a perfect transition into the NFL is rigged. I saw last night. This is why I watch college football. This is why.
Well, now you could bet on anything now.
That's my thing. It's if you think that sports is rigged, then yesterday the Philly Eagles would have won by, what was it, 2.5? That was the spread that I got.
Yeah.
Instead, they blow out the Niners.
Yeah.
And like it's I don't know how they do it, but I'm not in the conspiracy theorist of, oh, this is rigged. What happened during the Chiefs game, what I thought was really ironic, was the head referee was from Youngstown. Okay.
Really?
Yep. Graduated from Cheney, Youngstown guy. People blowing up on Facebook saying how proud of him they are. And then the Chiefs win. And all of a sudden you see a picture of this guy consoling Patrick Mahomes. It was cropped together. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, how the world has changed in that 3-hour time span to be so proud of this gentleman from Youngstown because of what he's overcome and this and that and the other. And he's officiating the AFC Championship. And then to say that he blew it because, he's getting paid to do so. Like, such a joke. Such a joke. If you add up, I mean, people are like going on, doing this with their cameras and they're shooting their TV and saying that's a hold. This should have been called. There's a hold on every single play in football.
There's a hold on every play. Every
single one of them. And these people are. I just want to know, where the hell did all these Bengals fans come from?
It's a good question.
4 years ago, I couldn't find it. I had maybe 5 people that even liked the Bengals, and now everybody's a Bengals fan.
Yep.
Kind of like New England. Like these front-running people. And then when they lose, it's like, how did the Bengals not make it? The Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year. That's it.
Yeah.
And they were bad for the previous 30 years.
And their top wide receiver, their best receiver in the NFL, didn't do much.
Oh, is that going to be delicious on Wednesday? I texted Scotty and I said, you better be ready to bring in your best Jamar Chase material because we are going to tear you up so bad. He stunk. He was bad.
You know what? He just wasn't anywhere.
Non-factor.
T. Higgins completely took that game over.
And Tyler Boyd had it before that, before he got hurt. So, and you can make the argument, and I know he's going to say it, well, yeah, if you double team Jamar Chase, the other guys are going to be open. Yeah, but Travis Kelce still got the ball, still got a touchdown. He was double teamed every single time. Every single time. And the Chiefs did what they did with a depleted wide receiver core.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they lost pretty much everything you could
and
lose.
They had 3 rookie defensive backs.
And they had a dude on one leg slinging the ball and outrunning you on one leg at the end. And then for some reason, and I feel so bad for this guy. We were talking about it earlier. Osai, right? I don't know why he decided.
Just a step too late.
Just a big moment. You're just trying to make a play and you made a hit and it cost you the game. It cost you your season.
It really did. Because there was 8 seconds left. Say Kansas City throws the ball for 5 yards and gets out of bounds. They got 1 play left. They could kick a 55-yard field goal or they throw a Hail Mary.
Which I don't think he makes.
Like 15 yards is just
huge.
The game. It's the game.
It's absolutely humongous. I mean, you think 15 yards on a 100-yard field, it's a difference.
Yeah.
It's a difference maker. And it's a first down and it stops the clock.
Yeah.
And I mean, you listen to all those different things.
Just
But I kind of showed you there's video in the locker, not in the locker room, in the tunnel to the locker room. And they were just eating that dude's lunch.
Yeah.
And you feel bad. You like You said he's 22.
He's 22.
Do you remember 22? All the mistakes. I mean, it was a year ago for you. For me, 22. All the mistakes that I made that I didn't even know about. This guy is supposed to be a Maserati. He's supposed to be a professional, right? Sometimes you make mistakes, and in the heat of the moment, you're going to make mistakes. There were a lot of mistakes that were made by the Bengals yesterday. I mean, they were constant, and you feel bad for that one. He's going to be looked to as the guy that made that mistake. Now, hopefully he can grow from it, but I got to admit it's going to be hard.
It's going to be tough for him to sleep the next week.
Oh, my gosh. He's probably on nobody's call list.
Yeah.
You know, I would turn that phone off for a while, maybe hop off of the gram, make sure that I'm not checking that for a while.
Yeah.
But you can use this as fuel too. You know, you can use this adversity as fuel to make yourself better. Do the Bengals bring him back? Or is he a casualty?
See, I actually don't know much about him.
Yeah.
I just know he's 22.
Everybody knows about him now.
I don't know how that's the bad part of it. I don't know how he played throughout the season. Like, I really can't say much.
You hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
And you hope that if it is the case that he comes on, catches on somewhere else and just lights the world on fire. But man, I couldn't help but feel bad for him.
Yeah, and you know what? I know it's the job of the TV company to, show the emotion of the game, but man, that was hard to watch at the end when he was like crying, and I was like, oh man.
Nobody was there consoling him. Not one.
One guy came over at the end.
I think it was the Niners game that I was watching, and Josh Jackson was in, and when he fumbled,
that was just horrible.
It was like he never sat into a meeting for the 49ers before. No. Like he had no clue what was going on.
None.
Zero. And he played for the Browns.
It's like an intern out there.
I didn't realize he was a Browns guy.
I didn't even know he played for the Browns.
He played in like one of those off-branded leagues overseas. And he played for, I can't remember who his first team he played for. But yeah, he's been around. He looked so lost out there, and you felt awful.
Yeah. They couldn't get a playoff. It's just bad.
And then Brock Purdy comes back in, he can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
Which was weird because on the sideline, he's throwing the ball warming up.
Yeah. I had a lot of questions because when the backup came in, I'm like, man, Purdy must be done for the game. And then he gets hurt and he comes back in. I'm like, wait, why wasn't he just in the entire time? I mean, they couldn't throw, obviously. They ran every play, which when you're down 2 scores and then eventually 3 scores and you can't throw the ball.
When CMC is your quarterback, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, it's like.
Now, what they could have done is just run Wildcat the entire time with him and Debo.
That's what I was saying. Kind of run. I thought they were going to go a little RPO style.
But that would have been, I mean, that's just wild to think about. You don't have a quarterback.
You don't have a quarterback.
Like zero.
Yeah.
Garoppolo. Did you see Garoppolo smiling?
Yeah.
I thought that was a jerk move. I'm sitting there, I'm like, that cat is smiling.
Yeah.
Not hiding it at all.
He's probably like, well, I'm coming back next year. It's like,
I don't know. Okay, so you got Trey Lance, you've got Jimmy Garoppolo, and you got Brock Purdy, who led you to the promised land.
Yep.
Who knows what Brock Purdy's, makeup's going to be after they take a look at his elbow. But what do you who goes there?
I think Purdy.
You think he goes?
Oh no, I think he starts
over Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think it's hard not to start him.
I think Trey Lance starts.
See,
and
I don't know.
You keep Purdy around.
I saw Trey Lance in college. He was spectacular. But I still think he could be a backup. I think Jimmy G goes.
He's just not worth the money.
No.
And after watching him smile, if you're Kyle Shanahan and you see him smiling on the sideline, all right, dude, you're out.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're who you are. That's a bad locker room guy.
Yep.
If he's smiling, and somebody could have cracked a joke, and this could be out of context. But still, why aren't you checking up on your QB? Like that's the kind of guy. That's a leader that I want out there. To me, that was frustrating. I pointed to the TV. I was like, he's cracking up.
Yeah.
He's giggling. And then somebody did a screenshot of it and put it on social media, and now everybody saw it. So Interesting stuff. All right, Super Bowl, Philly and Kansas City.
Philly.
You like Philly?
Yeah, I think Kansas City is depleted. I think Philly is just hitting their stride at the right time. I mean, defensively, they were more impressive than they were offensively. And that's going to win you a Super Bowl. I mean, Kansas City's still really good, but there were a lot of concerns, I thought, for them offensively. Cincinnati was decent on the defensive side, but I thought they were going to come out and be more productive than they were.
Do you think the 2 weeks helps one team over the next?
I think it helps Kansas City because they could rest.
Injuries.
Yeah. And Mahomes will be fully healthy by that point.
I've never understood 2 weeks between the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl.
I don't like that.
Makes no sense to me.
No.
And I understand they're trying to get their awards in and they're trying the Pro Bowl and stuff like that. I'm very, very grateful, right? But why do we need 2 weeks between the AFC NFC Championship and the Super Bowl? Is it because of the media?
I guess the lead up, the anticipation, trying to grow it, trying to build that brand because, you know, the Super Bowl with the commercials they put in there, they're trying to advertise it and market it. And I guess
that's actually a great point.
I guess the lead up to it is you got more time to get everybody rallied around a big game when you could advertise for a week and a half instead of just 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I never understood it. I never kind of, okay, that makes sense. Maybe it is because they want all the players to be healthy and give them an extra week or whatever. I think the week definitely benefits Kansas City, you know, with Mahomes and what he's got going on with his ankle. You saw he was dinged up at the end of that game. The receiving core is beat down and battered. So it's going to be interesting. I'm still going to take Philly. I got him in at 1.5 point favorites. I'm also going to take the over. And the over is at 40. I want to say it's 48.5, 49, something like that, 49.5. I just think 50 points in the Super Bowl isn't that much. I mean, you think about it, that's 25-25.
25, yeah. Well, that's what we thought, though, for the AFC Championship.
Sure. But it's going to be in Arizona.
Okay.
It's not going to be chilly. I mean, the ball is going to be flying around, I would believe. Now, these defenses are stout. I like Kansas City's defense. They gave up the run all year long. Now all of a sudden, they don't give up the run. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Eagles by 1.5, which means they got to win by 2 for me to make any money at all. But I'm looking forward to it. I think this is a great Super Bowl. I think it's a great matchup between two teams. The Kelsey Bowl, you know, how did you see him last night? I loved it. Like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, he's such a jerk.
He's going to be in the WWE.
Oh, without a doubt.
There's no way. His personality just reflects that.
His mother, Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey's mother, is a graduate of Orange, who we have on the YSN banner. So ipso facto, YSN is affecting the Super Bowl this year. So I'm excited. I mean, for me, it's so many memories around the Super Bowl and that big game, and it'll continue. But Siggy and I were at Legends on Saturday, and we might have something special coming out for March Madness this year. If you remember, March Madness was at the Bunker last year. Mm-hmm. This year, we think it's going to be at Legends. We'll do something special out there. But they've got, I mean, if you haven't been to Legends, you need to go. They've got so many TVs out there. The food is unbelievable. So many different choices for beverages and the whole thing. I'm going to tell you this. You know, I'm a steak guy. Love steak. And I'm a connoisseur, if you will.
You getting a steak this weekend?
Oh, in Vegas? Oh, yeah.
Aren't they known for steak?
Yeah, and we're going to get cigars. We're going to get the whole – are you a cigar guy?
Yeah.
All right. So we got to celebrate. I mean, this is a celebratory and it's my birthday.
Yeah.
So we got to get some celebration in. And Sam wants to gamble a little bit, which I'm cool with. I'm excited. I just want to go to a sports book in Vegas just to say we went there, and I bet $10.
Well, you know they're putting the sports book in Austin Town.
It's already there. The Barstool one?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's already there. We need to go. We need to get hooked up with them so we can have a show there, because I think that'd be sweet.
That'd be cool.
What are you most excited for Vegas?
I would say to see the teams, if anything.
The flag teams?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
they're
they're
the
the
best
best
in the world.
teams in the world. Like I told you, I was watching some of the games last year, and like I get the kids are young, but it's still like high caliber flag football.
Some of these kids will be having their names said on Saturdays and Sundays in the future.
Yeah, like they're gonna be really good. So I'm excited for that. I guess seeing Vegas. I've never been.
Do you know we got a local team out there, by the way?
No.
Well, yeah, we got a Youngstown team under the disguise of the Cleveland Browns organization. They won the Canton.
Oh, they won the regional.
Yes,
okay.
They won the regional. Josh Tedesco, who's a friend.
Yeah, that's the cop.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Is his kid in?
Yeah, yeah, and he's a
We've
stud.
interviewed this kid before.
Yeah, so he'll be out there, and I'm sure we'll figure out a way to get hooked up with them. But they had their last practice. It was in a dome, and the next time that they play, next time they're throwing bombs, it's going to be in Vegas.
All right.
Crazy.
We don't have them on the schedule, do we?
I was going to look.
Well, no, it depends on who wins Friday.
Exactly. So hopefully they get some win. And I'll be honest, I kind of want to go over and just hook up with them and cheer them on a little bit. We got our new YSN football hoodies.
I should have worn it.
Go get it. During the break, you can get it and show it off. And then we got a lot to talk about still regarding, these basketball connections, these basketball brackets, because for the girls, it could be a little bit of a hell on wheels. Hell on wheels. We will talk about that when we come back on the YSN Power Hour, presented by our friends over at Toyota of Warren. Here we go.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn.
Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience, WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists.
Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats.
Go Dogs.
Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
All right, and welcome back to the YSN Power Hour, presented by Toyota of Warren. DJ and Richie with you. Let's go to the comments. Tony Riccatelli wants to know, who are the big dogs besides you and Richie? You're the big dog. You're the big dog.
See Donnie later.
Are you going tonight?
I'll be in Boardman tonight.
Donnie Ricks. I don't know the answer to that question. Usually I check right after the Power Hour, and then we'll do the graphics. So, Donnie, TBD, my friend. TBD. But speaking of Donnie Riccatelli, the Boardman girls looking to shake things up. Tough loss to Canfield the other night. You had that game. And now everything's out. Like everybody knows where they're going to play, knows where they're going to be, knows who they're matching up against in these brackets. Richie, when you look at some of these, who are the matchups that really kind of catch your eye?
First one, speaking of
Donnie Ricks.
Boardman, Fitch. Round 1 in the Division 1 Northeast 2 bracket. So Boardman 16 seed and Austintown Fitch the 22nd seed. So that means Boardman's going to host. And these are two teams that split the season series. So Boardman got them the first time, and then Fitch got them the second time.
At home?
At home.
So the home team won both, and Boardman gets home.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
At home, Boardman lost.
Oh, at home. Okay, so it was the road team.
Yeah, the road team
won both times. Okay, that's interesting. Yep. She couldn't jump on us fast enough. We felt that.
Might be talking about the Canfield game.
Got it. All right. So do you shake things up a bit? Do you feel like you got the hometown advantage, the home court advantage, if you will, if the road team won both?
It's a good question. I always think Boardman's a great place to play. I always think you always have a good home court advantage of Boardman, especially in a playoff atmosphere, because it's completely different than a regular season game.
Okay.
Boardman's one of my favorite places to watch a district game. That place and Struthers are my two favorite places to watch a district game around the valley for playoffs.
It's almost a sin. I've never been to Struthers for a playoff game.
Really?
Never. And I keep hearing, everybody tells me about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm missing out, on one of the keys of life.
Well, they took a lot of the district games away from Struthers.
Salem was where I used to go all the time.
Yeah.
All
Salem's
the time.
Good. They don't host many anymore. It's a lot of Akron area that hosts a lot now.
I'm trying to think of the place, the Purple Palace Anthony always talks about. He loves it up there, up in, I think it's Akron. I'm there every year. I don't know why. I can't remember the name of the place. But for girls especially, Salem ended up losing there last year. That might have been the regionals.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It has the giant scoreboard that comes down.
Yes.
Give me a sec. I'm on
Barberton. Yes.
Barberton.
And what's their mascot?
I'm not sure.
Aren't they something like the Magic or something?
Yes.
Okay.
The Magic.
Like, if you're the Magic, that is a legit awesome logo.
That's a cool name.
That's a cool name, cool logo, all that stuff. But the Purple Palace, we call the Purple Palace Heartland because it is just like Barney exploded in there. But it is legit in there. I love that place. All right, what do we got from Donnie here? When the draw took place, we were sitting in a line, and when it was Fitch's turn to select, she couldn't wait to jump on us. Uh-oh.
See, I always wonder how the seating is determined.
Well, isn't it the coaches sit there and it's boom? It's like they get to pick. They get to pick who they're matching up against. I mean, that's what it sounds like. I've never been in one of these plays. I've never. I would love to take part in it and just sit there and just watch it. How cool would it be to stream it?
I was gonna say we could have done like a bracket reveal. You know what I mean?
We got to get in on that.
On CBS where they're like, and the number 1 seed in the East District is Kansas.
We got to get in on that.
That'd be sweet.
We got to get in on that. But if that's the way it happens, legit, if you're Boardman and that is the way it went down, that is bulletin board material.
Yeah.
Because if I'm Coach Hamilton, if I'm Donnie Ricketts, if I'm anybody on that staff, I'm saying they want you.
Yeah.
That means that they feel weak. Now, they already have an opportunity because they won, right? You split that series on the road. They feel good walking into to Boardman, which it could be a dangerous place because that place is, be careful what you wish for, says Donnie Riccatelli. But in the same token, if you're Boardman, do not lose that game. because that's bragging rights for a whole nother calendar year. And here's the thing. You got to make sure that you get back on track, because Boardman has hit kind of a sputter on the lake a little bit. So hopefully they can get back on track and get things going, because I know it's Canfield, and Canfield's the top team in our power rankings, but there's some bad blood between Boardman and Canfield. And I would have for sure thought that Boardman, if you would have asked me, no disrespect to Canfield, would have split. Just because of the magnitude of that game.
I got a crazy stat for you.
Okay.
Boardman hasn't beat Canfield in girls hoops since 2016.
Really?
That's according to Max Preps, and they seem up to date. But that was the last time Boardman beat Canfield in girls hoops, which is crazy to think about.
Donnie told me whenever they played the first time, he's like, we're going to have something up our sleeves. You know, we're pretty excited for them. And obviously neither game came to be for Boardman. But like we talked about, that's an emotional game. You know, you can lose your you-know-what in that game. Your composure, everything that goes with it. You know, there's situations that call for angst and tears and emotion. That's one of those games.
What's killed Boardman both games, they've played fine in the second half. Third quarter, fourth quarter, they've actually outscored Canfield, but the first quarter has just been the Achilles heel. Like I told you earlier, they didn't score a point in that first quarter.
That's
and they were
tough.
down 10-0. It's like deflating. It's so hard to come back down 10 when you don't score. And they had open opportunities. They just couldn't hit them. It was tough to see. Like, I know Coach Hamilton was trying to stay as calm as he could, but it was like very frustrating. And I could tell because I was on the Boardman side. It was like almost very frustrating to watch because they had so many opportunities to score baskets and they just couldn't connect.
And then free throws down the stretch. I was watching the second half of that game, and I could see one, you know, on the Canfield side, they'd hit a three and Boardman come back and drill a 3-2. And Hammer was so excited. Like you could see it. He was right in the middle of your screen.
Yeah.
Like getting jacked up. But you could also see the devastation towards the end when they weren't hitting free throws.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to hit free throws, especially this time of year. You know, when you're trying to close out a conference or win conference games and now going into the tournament, you've got to be able to hit free throws. Like they're free.
And that's why Boardman was able to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Canfield was 6 for 13 from the line in that fourth quarter.
And
they've been a good free throw shooting team all year. And Boardman had some open opportunities down low on blocks, and they just couldn't score.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. What other games catch your eye?
So in Division I, Archbishop Hoban, although they had a tougher season, they're still the number 6 seed because of the strength of schedule that they played. So they've got 2 favorable matchups to get to the district semifinal. And if that occurs and Boardman or Fitch can upset Shaker Heights in the second round, they would play Hoban in the district semifinal. So that'd be one I'm looking forward to for sure. All right, we'll move on to Division II.
Which is crazy.
And this is the bracket I think everybody's looking at, really, because you got Canfield as the number 1 seed, and then you also have Salem as the number 2 seed in the same bracket.
Bang, bang.
So we could have a Salem-Canfield district final, and that would be in Streetsboro, which is kind of a small gym.
Anthony will be there. Like,
yeah.
we know that we're not getting that game. Anthony will be all over that, like flies on you know what.
So that'd be February 25th at 6 o'clock at Streetsboro.
Crazy. We're talking about a game that's a month away.
Yeah.
You know, but that's a palatable game. That's a game that we think could very likely will happen.
I'm confident in saying that'll happen, unless there's a drastic upset, because Salem has a good bracket to get through. They'll probably play either Struthers or Howland in the district semifinal, who I think they could take care of. And then Canfield will probably play Edgewood. No offense to Sam, but I think that they could win that.
I mean, those are 2 teams that are on a mission and destined to play each other again.
Yeah.
Because Salem won the first contest. I can see that happening again. And I'll be honest with you. You know, as much as I am a Salem homer and I feel like that's home, that's going to be a tough game.
It'll be a really good game. Yeah. I mean, both teams play well defensively. Salem, who clamped down against Canfield at home, made life very difficult for, their best shooter and Abby Muckelroy, who they pretty much face guarded, beyond the 3-point arc. So she couldn't get any shots up. And, Canfield's going to have different players step up and score. It was a balanced attack for Salem the first round. Abby Davidson was phenomenal on both sides. And, she kind of led the Quakers. Rome was really good underneath. I mean, those are two teams that just match up well because they have the same exact players at almost every single position.
Siggy says West Branch at 11 seed is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, West Branch.
Most dangerous team, I would say.
We'll see how they fare against Salem coming up in the rivalry. Of course, Gregory's back, best player. She's missed a good portion of the year. So they could be a team that could make a run, especially in the district tournament. Speaking of Siggy, we were talking about it earlier. United got a YSN first round matchup against South Range.
I like that game. I like that. Official is going to be all over the place for that game. He is going to be excited. That's a challenge.
United's the 9 seed playing South Range in the sectional. Then they would play 10 seed Ravenna Southeast. And from there, you got to play Shaker Heights Laurel, who's the number 1. So it's a tough road for both those teams.
Yeah, that's not an easy path.
No.
By any means.
Shaker Heights Laurel. Let's look them up. I don't think I've ever heard of them.
Come to think of it, I've never heard
of them. 11-6? There's no way. How are they the number 1 seed? That's strange.
I've never heard of them. Maybe it's the Bishop, whatever Bishop.
They're 11-6. Laurel Gators and Shaker Heights, Ohio.
Chomp, chomp.
I mean, they played a lot of Division I teams as D3, so that could have an impact. They've beaten some really good teams, actually.
Laurel is one of the top teams in the state. Their losses are the big-time schools.
That's what I'm thinking.
EB says Laurel plays a tough schedule. They are loaded.
Beat Hoban.
How have we never heard of them then?
Beat Maslin Jackson. Beat Hathaway Brown. They've lost to a lot of Columbus teams, like Pickerington.
They like the traveling sideshow?
They play a weird schedule. They played teams from Michigan, Illinois, Toledo area.
This is interesting.
Cincinnati area. I don't know. Their schedule just must be insane.
I've never even heard of them.
Me either.
That doesn't mean anything.
Number 1 seed in D3.
Good for them. Let me ask you a question before we get going. Early, I get because our MVPs come out later in the next month or so. Do you have any favorites that you would count as early MVP nominees? Boys and girls.
Aljancic.
Okay.
Boys. He's now the all-time scorer.
Yep.
At Louisville. I mean, it's hard not to put that guy up there for an MVP. Girls is tough. Could say I don't know if there's one player girls-wise that's like just lighting it up every night.
To me, it's Abby Davidson.
She's been solid.
I think she's the best player in the YSN. In the YSN universe. I mean, that's
JC Mullen for Springfield.
You can make an argument.
She scores 20 some a night, I think.
You can make an argument there. I think. For me, Abby Davidson does it all.
Yeah, she
checks
one of the
every
best
box.
defensive players I've ever seen.
And her offense is unbelievable. Finishes with the left, the right, whatever she has to do. Can dish it, can hit threes, can hit, jumpers, free throws. She's talented. I just think she has had a year of years. And I think that she is going to get a ton of attention at the next level because of the year she's had her senior year.
I'm unfamiliar because we just signed on with them, but Hoban's got a couple players that are really good.
Sure do.
But it'll be tough to kind of put them down as an MVP because it
kind of
covered them for half a season.
You said Aljancic for the boys.
Yeah.
I really like Terrence Pankey.
Pankey, yeah.
Being able to see him, front and center on Friday. Vinny Flotto had the game of his life. I mean, he was hitting threes with his eyes closed. He hit 3 threes back to back to back on 3 possessions.
He's the all-time threes leader at Ursuline. Stud,
right? Got a chance to talk to him. Don't be surprised if you see him on the Big Dogs this week. There's going to be some sharpshooters on the Big Dogs this week if I was reading the tea leaves right. But I like what Panky can do. I think that, when you're on the best team in the YSN universe and you're sitting there and you are doing it day in, day out, and even when he's not scoring, he's on the other side making plays. And he's always seemingly with his hands around or on the ball at all times. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. So he's my early favorite. I also like, and I don't know if he's got a shot because of kind of the last 2 or 3 weeks, but you look at Duncan Moy, what he's done as a junior to that Badger program. I mean, he's a straw that stirs a drink out there, but they've hit some speed bumps as of late. So you wonder what's going on, but I'd be interested. I can't wait to see who people think are the MVPs around the area, because we have some really, really good teams, really good players, and it's only getting better year in and year out. So looking forward to that. You want to put a cap on this show?
Yeah.
And we could talk about D3 all the way down, or D4 tomorrow.
Yep.
Let's go to our Joe Dickey Electric. What's our spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, anything residential, anything electrical. Head over to DickeyElectric.com. Tell them YSN sent you. The Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Richard, what do you have?
My spark is the way that game, Philadelphia and San Francisco, turned out yesterday.
You didn't like it?
That was a complete disappointment. That was probably one of the worst football games in an NFC championship I've seen in a long time. Like, the second half, you knew the game was over. There was no point of watching.
Yeah, because they didn't throw the freaking ball.
That's
all I just needed them to throw the ball.
Like, it was like, I made the point that the Steelers and the Browns could beat this San Francisco team right now.
Wow.
Honestly. All you got to do is rush 9 the entire game.
Because they're not going to throw.
They're not going to throw the ball.
Man, that's deep. That cuts deep.
But they could have, like, with Purdy out and with that dude at quarterback, that dude was useless.
I feel bad because I know what's going to happen to Brock Purdy. It's going to be the rise. There's going to be some E60 documentary in 10 years about the rise and fall of Brock Purdy, because he was Mr. Irrelevant. Then he turned into the next Tom Brady, and now he, cracks his elbow, and who knows? He may never play another down of football again. So that's a pretty hot take, my friend. That is a spark of sparks.
My spark.
I am gonna go with what am I gonna go with? I just had it and I lost it. I'm gonna go with the dude that we were just watching, Ed Bassmaster. we have some giggles before the show, and Ed Bassmaster is going to be in Cleveland and Pittsburgh. We got to catch one of those shows.
Oh,
like he's hilarious.
Is he the same? See, I like watching his videos because you can't understand him, and he makes people feel awkward.
Because it's like the hidden camera shows.
Yeah, I feel like it's completely different when he steps up in front of an audience.
I don't know.
How's he going to be?
Donnie Baker was the best comedian I've ever seen in my life. You know who Donnie Baker is? Oh, we're about to educate you on Donnie Baker. But just the way that guy can stay in character, like Chuck Diamond and Mr. Mumbles, and look at that. It's Ed Bassmaster. If you've never seen it, go look him up on YouTube or Facebook. Great stuff. So that is going to do it for our show. On this Monday, we will see you Tuesday, 3 to 4, right here on YSN. We'll talk a little bit about the Division 4 breakdown. And we'll talk more high school hoops, where you've got a full slate tonight, ysnlive.com/live. Of course, we have the scoreboard as well. And we have the standings page for all of those of you who want to know what's going on and where these teams rank. That's our show. That's Richie. I'm DJ. We'll see you tomorrow on the Power Hour presented by Toyota of Warren. Peace. YSN thanks you for watching